Okay, welcome back to part 2. Looks like I didn't scare you off. And we've inputted our first number. Let's just go ahead and say that first number we inputted was 13, and then we press the plus key. Okay, when we press the plus key, we are going to enter the plus case over here. And then the first thing it's going to ask you is we want to store a new value into first. But before we do that, we're just asking like, hey, is the total not equal to 0? What that means is at the beginning, when we started this program, the total is equal to 0. But if you've already equaled something out, just like on a real calculator, how you can add to that number, it's just asking you like, hey, what number should I put in first or the total? So if you do have another number in there like 13, then it will store the number 13 into first. Otherwise, if the number is 0, it'll just type in whatever is the first number you typed in. So if you typed in 12, it would store in 12. So that's all that's doing. Then it's printing out the plus key and then calling for a second number. So we need a second number now, so it's going to run a function for the second number and it's going to store it in second. So I'm going to scroll down to that second function, and that is located right over here. Okay, all this over here is what you need to store in that second number. So it's just creating an infinite loop while 1. So that's essentially saying while 1 is equal to 1 right there. And 1 is always equal to 1. So this will run infinitely unless we do something to break out of that. So we are just looking for another key. Once you hit another key, if it's between 0 and 9, then we're going to do the same thing we did with the first number and print it out. Eventually, you're going to press the equal key, because once you have a first number and a second number, all we really need is the equal key. And the second you press that equal key, then we are going to break. Break just means to break out of the current function you're in. So because we're in this second number function, we're going to break out of it and we're going to return the second value, whatever we typed in for our second number, back to the main program. So we're returning that back to the main program. So back up here to our plus, we now have a second value in there. And then our total is just going to be the first number plus the second number. So it's just going to add it up and it's going to print it out. Okay? And then just so that the calculator doesn't get messed up, we're going to set the first number back to 0 and the second number back to 0. The total is still going to be the total, so if you do want to add more to it or divide more or do something else to it, you're more than welcome to do so. And then it just breaks out of that command. Okay, so that's pretty much the same for the plus, minus, and multiplies. The only difference in the division case is that you cannot divide a number by 0. So if the second number is equal to 0, that's like a question mark, like is it equal to 0? If it is, you're going to print out just the word invalid. So it's just going to print that out on the screen that it's invalid. Otherwise, it's going to take the two numbers and it's going to divide them and it's going to store it in second. Or it's going to store it in total, sorry. It's going to take these two and store it in total. And then it will print it out. So that's the major thing. The only other thing is if you press the C key over here, that will clear out your keypad. And that just here is case for C. The total will be set back to 0. So all your memory has been erased, and then it breaks out of it. So this is actually a pretty fully functional calculator. I'm going to go ahead, plug it in now, and demonstrate how it works. So let's get started. Okay, yellow cable is in place, or your cable might be a different color. And if this is your first time running your Arduino, make sure you go to Tools, Port, and set it to the port that has your Arduino connected. So by default it's on COM1, but my Arduino is on COM26, so I just need to make sure I have that one selected. Then what I usually do is I check my code by clicking on the check mark up here and just seeing if it runs properly. Okay, and I generated an error message. So if we take a look, I'm going to scroll up here to see what this is about. Okay, and it's saying too many initializers for character 3. So if I had to take a guess, I'm going to take a guess that this might have had to be 4. So let me set these to 4. And then I'm going to click the upload to the Arduino board. So I'm going to upload it now to the Arduino board. You should see some lights flashing, and it looks like it uploaded successfully. If yours didn't upload successfully, there's a chance that you don't have the Keypad.h installed yet. And to install that, you just want to go to Sketch, Include Library, Manage Libraries, click on that. It's going to open up a library window, and in your filter, I want you to search for the word keypad, okay? And make sure that you have the keypad, this one over here, installed. If you don't, simply select the latest version and install it. And I'm 99% sure it's this one. If it's not, it's one that's pretty close by. So make sure that's installed. Once it is, it should be running. Let's go ahead and go to Tools, Tools, and go to our serial monitor. And now let's go ahead and see what happens. So I'm going to press the number 1, and you notice that it typed the number 1 in there. I'm going to add in a second number, so 5. So 1 and 5 is 15, and then one more number maybe, so 7. So 157. Now I want to subtract this, so I'm going to press on the B. Okay, it shows my negative sign. And let's subtract 57 from this. So I'm going to type 5 for my second number, 7 for my second number. It's showing up there. And then I'm going to press the equal sign. Okay, so 157 minus 57 is indeed 100. Okay, let's try the undefined thing. So let's say let's clear this out first actually. So I'm going to press the clear key. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to press divided by, and then I'm going to go 0. And I'm going to press OK. Okay, and you'll see right away it puts up the number invalid, and it sets my total back to 0, or whatever my total was before it entered that stage of the program. Okay, and then I can clear it out again. So that's pretty much it. It works pretty well. Feel free to experiment with it, or if you have any questions about anything specific, let me know. Otherwise, this is Mr. Z signing out. Peace.